My boyfriend's cancer battle was ruining my mental health, so I left him. Now I'm running a marathon in his honor. So what I'm reading from this heading is that she's being awarded the victim card a bit. Because it's ruining her mental health, it seems that she becomes a victim in this as well. But as soon as she leaves, she absolutely surrenders her chance of being a victim in this situation. Now I'm running a marathon in his honor. I'm trying to grasp why that would matter. So the article's kind of spinning this, that she is both a victim and in some way a hero. But I'm thinking, if I'm this guy, I've just gotten cancer and my girlfriend has left me. Yep. And she thinks that by running a marathon and then saying it's for me is somehow going to help me in some way. I really couldn't take her seriously, I have to say. I don't want to hang this girl out to dry because the whole situation is very difficult in her defense, but I don't quite get why a marathon is going to help him, especially after you've just left him. It seems like she's somehow trying to fix the guilt, alleviate the guilt that she's feeling, right? So let's scroll down, let's read the article. So we've got Danielle Epstein, 32 of London, said she felt awful for leaving Gel Fresen, 37. Says she felt awful. Says she felt a bit guilty. She knows she did the wrong thing. This is what I take from it. It's an interesting subheading here. Rather than having a dot point, a detail about him, it's focusing more on her. I find this quite curious that he's the one with cancer, yet we're focusing more on her experience and trying to give empathy to her as opposed to the guy who has or had cancer. So a woman running the London Marathon couldn't cope with his cancer battle. Okay, so they were buying a house together in London last year when he was diagnosed with a rare form of brain tumor at just 37. He needed complex had to learn to walk again. While all this was going on, physics teacher Danielle began having panic attacks and her mental health plummeted. So she ended the relationship. She moved to Thailand. This is something's very weird about this. I'm not sure what's happening. She said she's still figuring out her friendship with this guy. I felt like the most awful person, leaving somebody because they have cancer. Okay, so she's right. This is not good, to be fair. But can I just say something in her defense? I don't want this whole video to be attacking this girl. In reality, it's 2023. Yeah, we don't have the same values. We don't have the same culture that we had even just 20 years ago, let alone 50 or 100 years ago. We don't have this sense of loyalty. We're not trained in the culture to be loyal. We're not trained in the culture to be empathetic. We're not trained in the culture to have some mental strength, some mental resilience, just to be tough, to get through things. We're not trained to do this. So the reality is this girl has not been trained to behave in the way that we think people should based on our previous culture from maybe 2 or 3 generations ago. So in a sense, she's doing what you would expect in our kind of individualist culture where people are told to just do what makes you happy. Don't worry about other people. Look after yourself. Put yourself first. It's all about you. This kind of narrative, which if you turn on your social media at any time ever, is all you're going to get, right? This is the narrative of the modern era. So in her defense, she really is just a product of the culture around her. Now, in saying that, many people wouldn't have left. So they still have enough overhang, or their parents were a particular style, or they had more resilience, or whatever it is. We have a photo of Danielle. So she's in her t-shirt. This is not good for me. She's trying to signal to the world how virtuous she is with her helping brain tumor research, but there's no mention of the fact that she left her boyfriend when he got cancer. Okay, whatever. All right, move on. Here's the couple, I'm going to guess before this guy got cancer. So I do want to be a bit sensitive to that because it is kind of a big deal. But you can kind of see he's maybe the kind of guy who's not very experienced with women, maybe a bit goofy, a bit quirky. He's kind of got those vibes about him based on how he's dressed, facial expression, and so forth. So, but he looks pretty good. He's reasonably handsome. He's a lot taller than her, so he's got some kind of basic dating value, right? And really, actually comparing that, so you can't see her there, right? She's got her head down, but you can see him. Compare that to her there, and I have to say, like on a basic level, she's done well. I would say that looking at her face, she's in good shape. It's good. He seems to be as well. But comparing faces, and he's so tall, I think she's done actually pretty well, just from the basic physical appearance. Because of course, we don't know. Well, she's a teacher. I'm not sure what he does just yet. So they're buying a house in North London. Oh, he's a software engineer. Oh, that's in. Oh, so teachers in England don't earn much. She's probably earning like 35,000 pounds. He'd be earning, I don't know, probably triple that. He's literally earning triple that. So he is quite tall, reasonably handsome, probably better looking than her, and earns a lot more money than her. This is interesting. All right, some details. I won't get into these details too much. Okay. Danielle said, if I can just light this part up here, we were on a certain path to a certain future, and within one day we knew it wasn't going to work out like that anymore. That's interesting. So did she leave the same day? Is that what it was? So anyway, certain path, certain future, that's clearly saying they're going to get married. They're going to have children. That's the path they're on. They're 32 and 37. You'd expect that that's what they'd be doing pretty soon, right? Having a kid while they're still able to. I was so worried and devastated. I couldn't sleep or eat. I was having panic attacks and was on so much medication to sort myself out, I just couldn't function. So, again, this is an awful situation for her to be in. Like, let's not pretend that she's a horrible person entirely. But, he was the one with cancer, right? Just to put this in perspective here. Realizing they'd split up. Oh, that's interesting. Realizing they'd split up. She split up with him. Of course she realizes she did it. It's like weird wording. She moved to Thailand with her father. I can't quite get that. She's on this stable path. She's about to quote unquote settle down with who seems to be a pretty good catch based on his appearance and his income and profession. And then all of a sudden she just jumps off to Thailand. I just get the sense that maybe she wasn't all in the first place. I don't know. That seems to be a bizarre way to handle things, if you ask me. All right, so he's had some problems, some nerve damage, some double vision. All right, so this is, oh dear. Yeah, you feel for the poor guy, don't you? He's in a obviously terrible place. Nothing quite like the photos to really show you a situation someone's in. All right, got some more photos. So yeah, the guy's obviously knocked around a lot. Poor fella. There he is there. Like chemo and radiotherapy, etc. Had to learn how to re-walk. So he's had a tough, it's difficult for me. I mean, I'm not that much older than this guy, and I'm like, wow, I can really empathize how it kind of must feel for him. There he is. Brain surgery, been there, done that, got the mug. So he's a bit of a kind of quirky software engineer guy. Very British sense of humor, dare I say. And, oh wow, this is quite graphic. Yeah, look at that. Oh man, it's real, isn't it? All right. I'm not a runner, but Jal has done marathons before. So I thought it would be a challenge for me and a nice tribute. So this is more about her personal endeavors. A nice tribute, really. I won't be fast, but I'm determined to get around. Okay. Training's been tough physically. This is interesting. Training has been tough physically and mentally. Just keeping going when you're so bored is challenging. Let's now apply that quote to the relationship. Oh man, I feel mean doing this, but let's do it. It's been physically and mentally tough, but just keeping going when you're bored is challenging. I have the best motivation. Interesting. Okay. Let's just scroll down a little bit here. We desperately need more research. Okay, so trying to justify that she's going to earn some money for research. Okay. Somehow alleviate her guilt. Jel, who supports his ex-girlfriend's attempt to help, said, I'll be there on the day to cheer Danielle on. I think it's incredible what she's doing. That's really interesting. When she said she was going to do a marathon, I must admit I had my doubts. She only ever did a 5-kilometer run, and that was with a lot of complaining. You can see her character come through this. She's complaining about running 5 kilometers. Now she's complaining about how hard it is training. And look, training for a marathon wouldn't be easy. It will take up a lot of time. It is physically draining, yes. But she seems to have that whinging stereotype, I have to say. And then, oh wow, I've got so much respect for her discipline and perseverance. What are you saying, brother? I've got so much respect. She left you like that. You got cancer? Bye. I'm out the door, right? Let's just be honest about this. Yes, it's a difficult situation for all, I understand, but she left, and now you're complimenting her on her perseverance. This is almost like some kind of parody article. I hate to say this. It's a sensitive topic, I understand, but oh my goodness. If I'm just thinking, if I'm in this situation, I'd be like, look, thanks. I know you mean well, but let's be honest, you left me. Right? I had cancer and you left. Right? So I don't really want this. It's not going to help me in my life. Like, you're just trying to make yourself feel better. Like, that's really how I'd handle it. Maybe I'm a cranky old bastard. I don't know. But Danielle said, I still love Jel deeply and want to support him. Again, running is not supporting. But I came to realize I couldn't stay with him as his partner. I came to realize I couldn't stay with him. In other words, he's not recovering, so I better get out. Now, again, I feel like I'm tearing her apart a little bit, but we do live in the dispensable era. We live in a time where every relationship is a situationship. Yeah, that's just how it is now. So in a way, I don't blame her because we don't take our vows seriously. They're not even married. It's kind of, I wouldn't say reasonable, but it's almost defendable in this modern era with the culture that we're kind of manufacturing and engineering at the moment, right? All right, the last few lines are just about the charity involved there. And we've got 109 comments. And I'm kind of curious because, look, I can't see many people thinking what she did was good, to be fair. I can't see many people following the narrative from this newspaper. Now, of course, every article you read has a spin, right? It has a frame. It's trying to pitch an idea to you and sell you that idea. So in this case, we're getting she's a victim and a hero. That's basically what the journalist is trying to put forward to us. So and 2 greyhounds from Newport, United Kingdom. My husband died after 5 months from a brain tumor. There's no way I would have left his side for a moment. Oh, look at that. We did everything possible to enjoy what time we had left together, and I promised him that he would not go into hospital, and he didn't. I would have done anything to make his death easier for him. Oh, wow, what a hero. What a hero. And that got 6,565 up votes. So very courageous of her, and obviously has some good qualities in terms of loyalty and so forth. Poor guy, imagine how scared and horrible he must have been feeling. But at least she ran a marathon for him, all good. That's got to be your instant reaction. That's got roughly 7 likes for every dislike. So that's a real vote. That tells you what the general public thinks. Roughly 6 or 7 think she's bad and 1 thinks she's good. That's pretty much what I'm seeing. I nursed my darling husband for 18 months before he died of cancer. He didn't want to die in hospital, and I promised him that he wouldn't. It was extremely hard. Okay, so it looks like, I wish this man to get well and have a great life. And I understand why his girlfriend had to walk away. So, although we don't want to cover her in glory, we also don't want to demonize her entirely as well. It would have been a difficult situation, of course, and she obviously lacks basic resilience as a person as well. My daughters are both taking sabbaticals to care for me. I married my childhood sweetheart. Well, there you go. She's with me through thick and thin. So different generation there, kids, really tight family. It's good to see everyone get around and support. Keep fighting. To read about her decision, at least she was honest. Yeah, okay, fair enough. And then you see this. This is interesting. We are no longer accepting comments on this article. So someone's come along from this business and decided that the comments weren't in line with what they were trying to say and stopped the comment section. All right, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that she was entitled to leave, given the modern era, given that we're not trained to be loyal, we're not trained to be empathetic? Children are not trained in this way anymore. They're trained to look after themselves, do what's best for themselves. Given that, do you think she's done the right thing? Is it reasonable? And do you think that the running the marathon, do you think that is a meaningful thing? Do you think it adds value to him? He seems to be quite happy with it. He's no doubt still in love with her and still kind of hanging in there, hoping he could maybe get back with her or something. What do you think? In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, do click like, and then I know that this is the kind of content that you want to watch. And please do consider subscribing to my channel.